Happy Sabbath, church family. Pastor Garrison Hayes here. Just excited that we are here in Resurrection Weekend. This is such a great time to be a Christian and to be reminded why we are Christians. Before we jump into the content of this video, I just want to go ahead and remind you that we have Sabbath schools going tomorrow morning. We have our virtual worship experience at noon, as well as a communion service embedded in our virtual worship experience tomorrow. We have our extended Sabbath school in the afternoon, Bible study on Monday and on Wednesday. We have people who are calling each other and praying together. I mean, there's so much going on. There is absolutely no excuse as to why you can't be growing spiritually and in community with your brothers and sisters during this time. So take advantage of it. Get in contact with someone. Reach out if you need more information. Look on our website, cpcsda.org. All of the information that you need is right there. Speaking of our website, we are so appreciative to all of our members who are giving locally. It is what is going to help us to keep running during this time. Please continue to give. Of course, you can give over at cpcsda.org/give. It's there on your screen. You've seen it 1,000 times at this point. Listen, your offerings go a long way to help us make this happen. And let me tell you, we have some great things in the works behind the scenes. We're trying to take this thing to the next level, and what you give helps us accomplish that. So thank you so much for giving. So Simone and I recently moved to a new unit in our apartment building. This one has bigger windows, more sunlight, and we're really enjoying the apartment. But across the street, they're building a new building of some sort. And I've been watching the people in the crew work every single day. This construction crew, they're doing their thing, and they're doing it fast. But one thing I noticed that I couldn't seem to shake was the way in which this team works together. I mean, there are people doing a bunch of different things all at once, but they're working together to build the same building. It reminded me a whole lot of what's going on at CPC right now. I mean, there are so many people who are working in several different areas, but all of our work comes together to build the kingdom of God as represented at CPC so well. So I want to take some time just to give a few shout outs to some of the cool things that are happening in our congregation, the way that certain individuals are contributing. Now, I recognize that when you do something like this, inevitably, you're going to leave somebody out. And at the end of the video, you're going to be feeling away. Well, I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and shout you out right now for what you're doing right now. Oh, you're killing it. You're killing the game. Round of applause for you and what you're doing and the way you are contributing. And also, I'm really sorry for not shouting you out. I know you texted me about that thing or emailed me, and I promise you, I am so, just charge it to my head and not my heart. Thank you for what you, yes, you are doing very much. But I know that, Easter weekend is a weekend of thanksgiving for what God has done. And I think it's appropriate for us to thank each other for the little bit of Jesus that we see represented in each other. So thank you to Natasha and Karen and Asia and Janine and Raul and Tatiana Batson and Ty May Gordon and all of the people who are doing amazing things to provide really special Sabbath school experiences for our young people. You all are amazing. Thank you. Shout out to our young adult leadership team. You all are the GOATs. Like, I love this team. Adriana Laguerre, Simi Cabo, Travis Wright, Jennifer Telford, our young adult director, Jessica Cece West for the Friday night fellowships and the young adult Sabbath schools and the book club, Adriana, and everything else that you all are doing. Shout out to our Roots and Roar team for putting together an awesome check-in, a session for our young men last Sabbath. Huge shout out to Ron Gasson. I mean, member care is top notch right now. I mean, people are getting email updates about family members and those who are in need of prayer, those who are in our congregation who we need to pray for. And that work isn't easy. Ron Gadsden, Deria Gadsden, they put together some amazing lists. I won't go down the list of all the lists that they have put together for us, but thank you so much. You all are a part of the heartbeat of this congregation, and we just can't say thank you enough to you. Thank you to Vanessa Cooper and your entire Sabbath School team. Now that's like a bunch of people that I just shouted out just now. You all are incredible. Vanessa, thank you for organizing and scheduling Sabbath School teachers, Sabbath School lessons, all of that. Thank you to Leslie Ann Williams, to Avalyn Young, and everyone else on the team who have been instrumental in putting together children's stories. I know that the young people are blessed because I'm blessed. I'm like way too old. Am I hearing MVP chants right now? I think I am. Because now I want to shout out Andy Russell. Andy is, of course, our media director, and like everything we're doing is media related. Andy, you've been excellent, and I know that is in your DNA. That's a part of who you are, and just thank you. Thank you so much for what you're doing. That's probably an understatement. Another shout out for Jennifer Telford, who is not only engaged with our young adults, but she's also our finance director, our comptroller. It's easy to be a bit overwhelmed by all of the variables, but Jennifer has just showed in just consistency. She's been plugging away. There are so many different things changing all at once, and she manages and juggles all of those things so very, very well. And of course, Jennifer has a team that I know she would want me to shout out. So you know who you are. Shout out to the team. Thank you, of course, to Daryl Hunt, our music director. I mean, first of all, the music has been on par in our virtual worship experiences. Like, do we need to also shout out your very, very lovely wife as well, so everyone knows? People need to know that Silver is an incredible musician, singer, artist, but she may have missed her calling as a filmmaker because those camera moves are A1. They're very nice. So thank you to both of you all for the light that you shine so brightly here at CPC. Michelle Buckmeyer is so important to the Community Praise Church operation. It doesn't happen without Michelle. And she does so many little things. You know, in sports, they talk about the things that a player will contribute that don't show up on the stat line. I think that is Michelle. She does so many things that do show up on the stat line. She's getting rebounds and assists, and she's getting buckets on her own. But she's also hustling and organizing and making sure that the building is beautiful. And now she's making sure that our digital spaces are beautiful and well taken care of. So thank you, Michelle. I mean, I could go down there. I don't even know all the things that you do. Like, can we just be honest and say that? Like, you do things that no one but you knows that you do. So thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, and now our pastors. If Pastor Rue McKenzie were to teach a masterclass, it would be in compassionate leadership and thankfulness. I mean, if you've not had the privilege of having an in-depth conversation with Pastor Rue, you're missing out. Not only is there an incredible depth of knowledge and depth of thought, he's one of the most compassionate and kind leaders I've ever had the privilege of meeting, let alone working with. I mean, this is an incredible man of God. And it comes out in his demeanor, the way that he deals with people. So thank you, Pastor Rue, for all that you have done, the way you've kept up with our members, the way that you are pastoring and leading our members so compassionately and so brilliantly and excellently. Pastor Elaine Arthur. If she was to teach a masterclass, it would be on excellence in mobilizing volunteers. I mean, that's what she does. If you ever want to learn how to mobilize volunteers, yeah, you need to talk to Elaine Arthur. She is incredible at that. She has the mind of a Fortune 500 executive. What's that? Oh, she was a Fortune 500 executive. Oh, that makes a lot more sense, is all. Excellence has to be somewhere in her name because that's the only thing she accepts. Like, let alone what she does. That's all she accepts. Don't half step with Pastor Elaine. The way that she has kept our operation here at CPC running in these very much so nebulous, fluid times, it can't be overstated. She is so important to this congregation. You all know that. I'm just getting the opportunity to say it as publicly as possible. Thank you, Pastor Elaine. You are just an incredible leader. Thank you. But there is one more observation that I made while watching these construction workers do their thing all this week. While all of the construction workers on the ground are so important to making it happen, I observed that there is one very, very important team member. This team member isn't on the ground. This team member is actually all the way up in the sky. This particular team member sits in the crane, and the crane operator is able to see things and move things that the people on the ground could never see and they could never move. The crane operator actually ends up becoming the most important part of the team because their vantage point and the power of the machinery at their disposal allows them to influence and to move and to do things that otherwise would never get done. Oh, if you haven't figured out by now, the most important person on this team, I'm talking about this kingdom team, is of course Jesus Christ of Nazareth, because Jesus has power that if he does not wield his power the way that he wills it, nothing will get done. He has a vantage point to be able to see things that those of us here on the ground would never be able to see. And I think it's important that we just celebrate Jesus, that we celebrate what he is doing in our lives. Even when we don't know what's going on, we know that there is someone who sits high but looks low and has the vantage, has the vision to be able to see everything and the way all of the things work. He has the power to move things that otherwise would never get moved. We ought to be thankful to Jesus, our cosmic crane operator, for the way that he is building the kingdom through us and even the things that he's doing without us. My prayer for you is that this weekend, your mind, your heart will be turned towards Jesus. Happy Sabbath. God bless you. And we'll see you tomorrow for all of our virtual worship experiences.